Hey YouTube, today we're starting our light railway foundations. Hey everyone and welcome to Brick Talk TV. Today we're continuing our rebuild of Bricktown, and as always, if you've missed any of the other previous episodes in this series, then do check the playlist in the top right, and also smash that like button if you enjoy this video so more people get to see it. Also feel free to join our LEGO community by smashing that subscribe button with the bell notification turned on. At the end of our last episode, we finished reorganising the modulars in South Street, and this was the view of Bricktown. In our episode today, I want to put some further foundations down in Bricktown to help support a light railway system that we'll be incorporating into the city in the future. In this episode, we're going to concentrate on the pillars that will hold up a raised set of tracks that will run round the city, and the position of these pillars may change in the future as we start to build out more of the city and eventually start to place the track on top. What we're placing today will just give us a guide and help us now for in future episodes when we start to pave out our sidewalks. So as always, let's flip over to the BrickLink Studio to take a closer look at our overall design and the elements that we'll be constructing today. These are the pillars that we're going to be making today, and they form the base of our light railway. At the base we have a 3x3 round brick which has a recess, which might be familiar looking as these were used in the Titanic build to make the chimneys on top of the Titanic. With these bricks we're going to place a 12 length rod that will run right through the centre, and around that we're going to stick 2x2 round bricks, threading them through the rod as we go, and these will form the pillars. In this studio file I've plotted out how the tracks will flow round Bricktown, but I will make a slight adjustment in the real city, and we'll have the track actually now not flowing right the way around the South Street loop, but it will cut through the alleyways that we created in our last episode when we looked at the Daily Bugle and the Sanctum Sanctorum placement. If you want to see what that looks like, again do check the link in the top right corner here. The railway itself will run on roller coaster tracks, and I suspect in real life the track won't need as many pillars as I've outlined here, as during the build of this I was putting a pillar at the end of each roller coaster track. What I will be doing eventually is building some track supports which will have several roller coaster tracks attached to it, thereby reducing the amount of pillars that we need. In a future episode we'll be constructing these track supports and connecting them to the track and the pillars that we're building today. And at the moment you can see here I've designed the straight track supports, but we do need to design the corner supports as well. And I kind of have reflected the design of the actual train we'll be running along this track in the design and the coloration of the supports that will go around the track, so I want it to appear like a proper train service. So with this end goal in mind, let's flip back to the Lego room and start constructing a few of these pillars in real time, and then we'll speed up the construction of the rest. First up, let's recap the parts that we'll need. We have bags of 12 length rods that will support the core of our pillars. Then we have several bags of the 3x3 round bricks with the recesses that form the base part of the pillar, and our 12 length rods will fit into the base into the centre hole. And then we have tons of 2x2 round bricks that we will thread onto the rod and into the base brick. So those are all the parts we need. Let's build a couple in real time to show the build, and then we'll speed up the rest of the pillar builds. First up, we'll empty all of the 3x3 recessed bricks to start with. Let's move all these bricks out of the way and kick off our first pillar. Let's take the 3x3 brick with a recess to start, and let's get a 12 length rod and push it right into the centre hole. Then we'll get 8 2x2 round bricks out of the bag, and we'll thread these through the 12 length rod and push it right down into the base brick. This is a similar construction if you've ever built the actual original roller coaster that was released in the creator set. We're trying to strengthen the pillars here using the rods. This then forms our pillar, and you can see how it was going to look when we place it in Bricktown on the sidewalks. So let's run through that one more time in real time. Let's take the 3x3 brick with the recess to start with, and let's get a 12 length rod and push it into the centre hole. Then we'll get another 8 2x2 round bricks, and we'll thread these through the 12 length rod and push them into the base brick. Now we have 2 constructed. Let's work our way through the rest of our pieces and build all the other pieces at a high speed. now let's pack up these pillars and head over to Bricktown to start placing these in our rough positions as we've sketched out in our BrickLink Studio plan. Before we do place any pillars on the sidewalk, it's good to note that we're probably going to be placing these pillars on 2x2 jumper tiles that will be connected into the paving that we work around the city. This way it'll be easier for us to not only move the pillars once the city is constructed, but it also makes the paving area easier as we don't have the challenge of working with a round brick that's inserted into the paving area. So before we do anything else, as we go round, we're going to be sticking these 2x2 jumper tiles into the base recess brick. So let's get on now and speed up the placing of all of our pillars. So now we've placed all our pillars. As we scan round Bricktown, you can see where we've roughly placed all the pillars. And again, we may move these once we start the build of the track supports. But this roughly works for me at the moment and gives us a rough idea when we're creating street stories and other elements on the sidewalks, roughly where the pillars are going to end up. You can see that they run all around the north loop and they do run down into the part of this south loop, passing through the alleyway between the Ghostbusters Firehouse and the Daily Bugle as I mentioned. And we will build this out further, as I mentioned in a previous episode, to create a nice alleyway incorporating these pillars in future. So there we are at the end of this episode today. You can see all the pillars roughly in place, and you can join me in a future episode when we continue the light railway once we've decided on the curved build and managed to order all of our parts. But in our next few episodes we'll be heading back to street stories and building out a roadwork story and a train station commuting story just outside the front of the modular for the train station. If you did enjoy this episode, then do hit that like button so more people get to see the video, and hit that subscribe button with the bell notification turned on to be notified about future street stories as well as the continuation of the light railway build. And until next time, stay safe and I'll see you then.